Hey everybody out there, my name is Tommy. This is my channel, Counting on the Big Sleep, which we're all counting on eventually to happen. Just wanted to give a little update. Um, Today was my third day for a job interview. I've had 3 job interviews so far. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Uh, my first job interview was for a cleaning company, janitorial supply company. Um, it wasn't a bad job. I mean, it's $15 an hour. I went and did my drug tests and stuff, so I'm waiting to hear from them. My second job interview was yesterday, and that was for another bus company, doing what I used to do, wash buses, do maintenance and stuff on that. And I did my drug test for them, and so far, I believe I passed. I believe I passed my drug test. Since I haven't really been partaking in anything for quite a while. Uh, that's a job that I really would want. The hours are good. It would be like 9 at night to like 5 in the morning, which would be good. It's fine with me. I'm up all night anyway, so and that would leave my days free to do other things too. And then today's job was actually today. I had a job interview for a cemetery. This job was actually picking up people that have passed away and then bringing them to like the morgue and stuff, and where they can do what they have to do with the bodies and stuff. You know, which is it's only part time, and you're on call, and the job pays for $50 each person you pick up. Plus, you get a $2 hourly rate at $15 an hour. So, it's not wouldn't get rich off of it or anything, but it's a job and it's very interesting. I found that one very interesting. You know, um, I've never worked for a cemetery before, so I had the interview went well. He said he had some more people to interview too and stuff. So I just said, hey, keep me in mind. You know, I understand how you have to be compassionate with people when they pass away and stuff. But yeah, so far 3 job interviews. Hopefully one of them will come through. Hopefully, you know. So it's not like I'm not out there trying. You know, I never did sign up for free dental care or anything like that. I'm more focused on getting a job, getting my health benefits, and taking care of it like that. I don't wanna ask for food stamps or free government assistance like that. I just don't want to. I want to do things on my own. I want to work for a living. You know. But yeah, today is Thursday. I believe it is the 7th. Yesterday was my brother's birthday. He had passed away a couple years ago, so it was his birthday yesterday, and wish him a happy birthday. Wherever he is in the afterlife. You know. But it wasn't a bad day. Like I said, I just got back from the job interview for the cemetery one. Um, Quite interesting job. Quite interesting job. You know, the only thing I didn't really care for was the fact that you'd be on call. Because death could happen at any time, and then you have to make your way out there and pick up the body and stuff. And you have to have some compassion for the people and everything. Because when they lose loved ones, it's really tough. It's really tough. And so but yeah, it's a nice day out today. Gonna get out a little more. I'm gonna go do the plasma. I'm gonna go to the plasma center in a couple hours here, and so I can make a few extra dollars to keep gas in the car and stuff, and to keep looking. But hopefully, one of these jobs will come through. Like I said, I already done my drug test for the two of the jobs. So I'm just waiting to hear, you know. And if anything, hopefully, I will get the job at the bus company because that's 9 to 5, and they have, oh my God, they have a pension there. It's like I never worked for a company where I would actually get a pension, you know. And he says if I worked there for 10 years, then my pension would kick in and stuff, which would be nice. Pension on top of Social Security. So, I mean, I'm looking to work for at least another 10 years. Hopefully my health stays healthy-ish. Would be good. I did make a video. It wasn't a satire video. One right before this one. It's about how to reform the prison system, because I've been looking into that. I'm not looking at me going to prison or anything, but I've been looking at how people are treated in prison, and I mean, it's just horrific. I understand people commit crimes, and they have mental illness, and some crimes are just horrific, and you feel like you should just lock some people up away for good. But when you live out on the streets, and the world is treating you badly, and you choose to do some sort of criminal activity, and then you're getting put into prison, which crime happens every day in prison. Let's face it. I mean, when you go to prison, people try to extort you. They try to take extreme advantage of you. And if you're not a fighter, then you're going to have a lot of problems. Even in prison, in prison, if you don't stick up for yourself, you become an easy mark. You become an easy mark, and you have to have, you have to defend yourself. Prison is not for everyone. A lot of people don't make it out of prison. I mean, if you got, say you got put away in prison for selling drugs, they shouldn't put you in with the murderers and the rapists and stuff like that, and with the hardcore criminals. Prison system needs to be changed. I truly believe that. It needs to be changed. No more of these mega prisons. We need to make them smaller. We need to get the people the help they need, because 95% of the people that go to prison are going to get out someday. And you don't want people that have been traumatized so badly in prison to be living next door to you. I mean, I understand about punishment, but there has to be some kind of rehabilitation for people. Some kind of, counseling, some kind of compassion too. And I understand, and especially these young kids that go on these shooting sprees. You go into a school and you shoot up people. When you go to prison, you don't have a gun. You don't have a gun. You have to defend yourself. And some of these people, they're just mentally not prepared for something like that. Prison is a crazy place with crazy people. And it could traumatize you to the point where when you do get out, you may start committing crimes again. Because in the prison system, they're going to teach you how to be a better criminal. That's for sure. The best thing to do in prison is try to keep your head down, try to stay out of trouble. I hope and pray that, no more of my family members ever wind up there, because I've seen how traumatized, these things can happen, But that was about the last video I did, and that's the message I was trying to convey with that video. But I'm going to keep making videos, trying to do my best to maybe make satire. I'll keep these vlogs going. This is number 14, vlog number 14. And I just wanted to come on and talk about how this day's gone, and how I've actually applied for 3 jobs, and hopefully one of them will come through. Hopefully I'll start working again, right away. I, I, I would like to work for the bus company because the hours are good and the benefits are good, but I also would like, the cemetery job. I mean, that's just something so different, to actually help people, to be somewhat compassionate to people when their loved ones die and stuff, and to treat them with respect, and and help the grieving process, heal itself. But yeah, I heard YouTube is changing some things up, so we'll see how YouTube goes. But yeah, it's another fine day. I think I'm gonna go grab some lunch, and then I'm gonna go to the plasma center to make a little bit more money, keep things going, and hopefully and wish for the best that one of these places call me and say, yeah, you're hired. Start working right away. I'm more than willing to start working tonight, tomorrow, Sunday. I am more than willing to start as soon as possible. But that's all I got for you today. It's a little vlog about how the day's gone so far, and everything. And all the job interviews that I've gone on to now. Which is, I'm glad I got job interviews at least. Hopefully, like I said, hopefully one of these places will call. I really would like the bus company job. I'm a little worried about that one because they do have some connection to my old company, so I'm a little worried about that one. The cemetery one, that would be fine. That's a fine job. It's not full time, and you don't get any benefits for it. It's like $50 a person that you pick up, and and you're on call, and you have to be, at the cemetery house to get the van to pick up the person. You got to get there as quick as possible. But it's quite interesting job. And in ways, a job like that makes me feel like I'm giving back, to society and stuff. So, but that's all I have for you today. I just wanted to let you know how today went, and talk about the video I just made, about the prison system and how things need to be reformed, because like I said, 95% of people are going to get out of prison, and you don't want them recommitting crimes. You want to help people. And prison's a place where it gets very traumatized, very traumatized. So, but that's all I got for you today. Thanks everyone for watching. If you like these videos, please, subscribe. Not asking for any money, not even asking for, buy me a cup of coffee at this point, which would be nice. I should set that one up because I love coffee, but, hey, I just wanted to come on and say, hey everybody, I'm still here, still making some videos, still doing my best, trying to make money off of YouTube if I can. Hopefully I get enough subscribers someday. Any criticism, any questions you have, feel free to leave it in a comment and stuff. Alright everybody, you guys have a blessed day. Bye.